I know, you missed me. Right, now I've got to turn it up so it's ear-bleedingly loud. Otherwise people get upset, because deafness is a byproduct of watching the Dice Gods, apparently. Anywho, hello. How is everybody? How are we? Are we well? I hope you are. Right, what am I doing? Where are we? What's happening? Blah, blah, blah. That button, and then probably this button. Yep. No, not that button. That's the wrong button. Don't press that button. Hey, Franco. How you doing? Welcome back. Good to see you again, my friend. Good to have you here. How are you doing? I'm glad we didn't scare you off last time. I tried, but we completely failed. Disappointing. How have you been, buddy? You had a good week and all that jazz? I trust you have. Seems running around. No, it's all good. All good. I've turned it up loudly. Oh, people. How has your week been, Franco? Have you had a good one? All right, I've got to turn some stuff off, otherwise... No, actually, I need to leave that on. That's got to stay on. Otherwise, stuff happens. Right, there we go. Glorious. Glorious. What is the latest with everybody? I'm going to be working... Tonight, we're going to be working on that Archer again, which I really should work on something. I've got a league game this weekend. And I've done some more fiddling with this guy. Let me just get him. I've done some more fiddling with this guy. So he's got like some skin tone on his like abs of doom now. A bit more colour around the place. So he's starting to take a bit of shape now. And I've lightened up the fabric, but I think it needs to go even lighter. I don't know. Maybe we'll work with that. But I kind of want to get some more colour on him. He's not, you know, not necessarily making an appearance this weekend, but by God, he's going to be painted. So that's exciting. That is exciting. It needs to be done. It doesn't need to be done. I want to do it. And yeah, I'm at a point with him at the moment where I'm like, well, he's getting there. He's taking shape. So maybe we'll just push this to the end and sort of finish this one off. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but we're doing it. It's a thing that's happening. Look, it's a rare GW project. Mal Winters, good evening, you stud muffin. How are you? How's your day? 3 men in the shed. Neil, hello. Allergies kicked me around. Oh, buddy, that sucks. I did put sand trap training. Oh, good job. Warren, this evening. Good evening. How are you? Are you well? Designing a custom set of MDF coloured plywood tokens for Carnival. Nice. Ugh. See, Carnival, I've looked at multiple times, and I get it, but I'm not a wrestling fan, so it doesn't really, like... That's the Carnival is that one, isn't it? I think got a second set that arrived today. I'm hoping 2 of those and some other set from Soundtrack will be enough terrain. It'll be solid. I'd get the set that has, like, the walkways and bridges and stuff. I think there's a set of that, or it's a tower or something. I can't remember specifically what. But I'd get that just to add some moderated height, but for your first few games you shouldn't be going too wild anyway, so I would say that's probably, you'll probably be fine. You'll just probably want to sort of put some variety in there later, basically. But yeah, it's definitely a solid start. Get some games, just get some games, it doesn't matter too much at this point. You know, you're not going to be playing tournament grade missions at this sort of juncture, so I wouldn't worry too much about getting your terrain. You'll get a feel for the terrain as you play more. And as I've said before, your terrain should be a canvas you play on. It shouldn't be a third player. So if you start feeling that the terrain is defining who's winning and who's losing, then it's probably not right at the moment. You probably need to do some adjustment, basically. So... No, Carnival is Venice Gangs. Oh, yeah, that was... They did one. They did one that was, like, you know, Beacon Sky, Magic Fallen and weird stuff kicked off. Samalafo, but in Venice. I like it. I have that one, that's the second one. I have one of it and 2 of the... Yeah, it should be good. That should be a really solid start, Franco. Try that out, see what happens. Mal, wishing I was home to do some hobbying, but you'll help me... No, well, you know, It's all part of the service, my friend. You get to live vicariously through me. I don't know whether that's a good thing. I don't know whether that's something you want to admit to in public, but you have the option. I give you full permission. Off. Get that over there, get that over here. There we go. So yeah, the Bowmaster is taking shape. He's getting there. I think maybe he needs a bit more blue there, and I'm trying to decide what to do. He's got like a leather and almost like chainmail top on to, I guess, keep the guns warm while he's doing his Bowmaster work. And I'm trying to decide what to do with that. I don't want to make it blue, and I don't want to make it white. I don't know. I want to make it something else. Just can't. Maybe just a dark blue, like it's a dark blue leather. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. In gear, hello. Little Badger, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always good to see you. I have like, there's a comment that I have to reply to on YouTube from you in gear. I'm aware of the fact it's there and it needs to be done. I've got responses for you. I just haven't got around to it yet, so kind of suck. It's kind of been a busy. It's been a mental week. It's just been absolutely crazy, and not like I want to say. You know when you're like, yeah, it was great. It was no, it wasn't. It was not. It was not the best of weeks. It was a rough week, and quite a tiring week. So I've got a lot of stuff to do, including a whole load of backlog of responding to comments on YouTube and Patreon and other places. Other socials are available, and I need to respond to those too. It's just one of those, one of those moments. So yes, I know I need to respond to you, and I absolutely will, and it will be glorious when I do. So we decided, having said that, we're going to do it like, could I make it like a dark blue? I'm making it purple. But a dark purple. Actually, it's not going to work because I put his shoulder guard as purple. That's not going to work. That needs to change. Greetings, how are you doing this evening? Brown, red maybe? I thought about that, but I'm trying to limit the use of red. Because we've got the purple on here, we've got the blue on here, we've got the greys, there's going to be brown in the bow. I kind of don't want too many colours. Or it can start to feel a bit busy, I think. Feel a little bit hectic, and I just don't want that. It's just not what I want. Don't know, we'll leave that alone for a minute. Work on some other stuff. Before I load my brush up with red. I'm not doing red. I'm going to finish off this bit of purple in a really awkward position. I'm using a wet palette from yesterday, and it's a little bit too wet now, which is a bit frustrating. But yes, it was an intense week, Inge. In answer to your question, how was yours? Did you have a good one? I hope yours was nice. Hope yours was sunshine lollipops. I think the height of mine. My oldest friends came to visit me for a night over here, which was nice. I haven't seen him in years, literally. So it was only a flying visit, but it was good to catch up, talk some rubbish, put the put the world to rights for 15 minutes. Very much so. Right. Don't stress me, Hydra. You're doing great with the responsiveness. Well, thank you, Gary. I don't stress, but I like to. It's also to an extent about making sure that I respond in a time frame where I can remember what's going on, because as I'm sure you can imagine, I put out quite a lot of stuff, and sometimes you look at a message, and you're like, What was I talking about? Does anyone know what I was talking about? I don't know what I was talking about. So you kind of, your ability to respond in a meaningful way other than, interesting, sort of drops to zero after a certain period of time. Even if it's something that you're super clear on, you tend to find that people will come back to you with something super specific. And I've had people that have been like, okay, so at 1 minute 34, I'm not sure I agree. Could you clarify? No. It's like, no, I have no idea what I was talking about at 1 minute 34. Oh, and I don't really want to watch my own video, so yeah, and then you end up having to go and do it, and yeah, it's better to do it when it's fresh in your mind. It's just nicer, more interesting dialogue, and you can sometimes get some surprising conversations out of it too, which is always fun. It's what we live for. It's what we're here for. The chats. So yeah, I need to do it. Right, that goes there. That goes there. I get that. I think my rule for my Infinity Bees is about 5 colours plus I have a time limit. All my OCD kicks in and my brain fire. It strips my painting ability. Story of my life. No, I mean, I can paint well. I've discussed it a lot on here. I'm impatient and I hit a point where I'm done. When the miniature, if I'm not careful, the miniature isn't. And so there are miniatures in this house that don't, like, they're done apart from a leg. Because I ran out of juice and I was done with it. And you're like, can we not go back and do that? Yeah, at some point later when I've forgotten what the actual scheme was and how I made the colours. Then I can do it. That'll be fine. Right now, not interested whatsoever. The joy of being between my ears. Hey, good evening, young man. Access, how are you? Are you well? Are you doing good? I hope so. Hope you're having fun. Mine was mostly good. Did finally come around to watch No Honor Amongst Thieves and did quite enjoy it. No Honor Amongst Thieves. Oh, the D&D one. Is that the D&D one? I think so. There are worse. If it is the D&D one, I watched that expecting it to be the sort of the death knell for our current sort of society, as it was sort of indicated it was on so many fronts, and it was fine. It wasn't going to win any Oscars, but then it's not supposed to. It was fine. Oh, I just opened the Akashi site pack. It has extra tokens and templates. Excellent. Toys! Extra tokens are always useful. You can never have too many. And if you have got too many, keep hold of them, because you're going to lose some. And it doesn't matter, because you've got spares. That's the rules. That's the way we get through it. And go, yeah, it's not a bad. There's worse. There's a couple. It made me laugh out loud a couple of times. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like I must watch it again. Yeah, it's fine. It was perfectly entertaining. It's better than that. I can't remember what the new or the most recent Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie. I watched that with Mrs. Hydra the other day. That was a chore to get through. Dear God, that was a bad film. There was little to recommend it. You know, it's one of those things where somebody thought it was a good idea, but I'm not entirely sure why, and I'm not entirely sure how everyone around them didn't go, are we sure? Is this not just a bit rubbish? Because it was. I was not impressed. I wanted my time back. Very much so. Surviving 12-hour work days are always fun. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you sleep 8 hours, then you have something. You have no time for something called a life, and you should have a life because that's the point. You don't like live to work. You work to live. It's the other way around. You've got it totally wrong. There's a reason I didn't see it in the theatre. No, absolutely. It was far from Oscar bait. Let's put it that way. But yeah, let's say I've definitely seen worse. Definitely seen better, but I've definitely seen worse. Being fussy with this miniature. I have to stop myself being fussy in a minute. Just put a little bit of a wash in here just to like give it some depth on the rope, but it was alright. I chuckled. I play and DM my 2014 game. My players would absolutely pull stuff from the film. Yeah. 12 off. Neil, that's it. 12 off minimum. Nuclear Kid. Good evening, good evening. Still a bit knackered from going to Salute on Saturday. Bought lots of toys. What did you get? I didn't hear much from Satellite from Salute this year. Normally it's kind of schmattered all over every available feed and like it's big stuff, but I just didn't this year. I don't know. Maybe I've not lived in the UK too long. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe my various algorithms aren't pushing it towards me anymore. Maybe that's what's happened. But was there anything particularly exciting there, Nuclear? Anything like really wow? Because I'd be intrigued to hear. I was going to say, I saw some stuff about drop fleet, but actually that was from the US one the other week, Adepticon. So it wasn't that. It was not that. Agreed. Life, growing up life catches up from time to time. Doesn't it just? And isn't it blooming disappointing in the process? I was forced to wake up 5 hours early today. What? No. You at that point you just tell the word no and reject on general principles. It's not acceptable. The day has gone better within the last 2 hours. I'm glad to hear it. I did Nomad's JSA Morat's collection is. Dear Lord, what happened? Blimey, that's quite a chunk. What did you get? Starters or yeah? My goodness, not a massive year of excitement and sleep. No, which is weird. I was expecting more. I did buy the best thing ever last weekend. I found a set of 15 cat miniatures, all in different poses, the right size from fit. Oh God! So all the models in my next army will be cats. Oh dear Lord, excess. My goodness, there are some people you're going to meet when you come over here to play that you're going to fit right in with. I printed out all the rules, quick play rules, and season 16 packets. I made a binder for each because I like holding my rules, which is nothing wrong. So much paper and ink. Yeah. Trees died to deliver these rules. Guaranteed as well, now that you've got it done, CB will update in the next 2 weeks. Because that's the rules. Nuclear, I got a bunch of Mon Troopers for an art project. Lots of creepy gas mask guys. And the Mount Haven bots because they're so pretty. They really are very pretty. I brought my Hungry Submarine model and it got a good reaction. I can believe that. It's a very pretty miniature. Model. I don't call it a miniature. That's undercooking it somewhat. Did it last week while allergies killed me. Oof. Fair play. Okay, and finally watched Yojimbo from 1961. That was a treat for nerds indeed. I haven't watched that yet. It's on the list, but there's a long list. About 90 miniatures for 125 USD. That's not bad. Damn. You need to share what you got. That's very cool. I had a pretty good time, mostly just seeing cool game tables and talking to weirdos. Archon had a big stall selling StarCraft. I'd say that was the biggest deal. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing about it lots of places and people are... There's definitely a hype train going on there. There's definitely some people being played to stoke the stuffing out of that hype train as well. Like, some of the pieces that are coming out are a bit too excited. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I can get hyped about stuff, but I'm hyped, and somebody gave me a big check, so this is the best thing. Yeah, it just, I don't know. Some of the bits that I've seen about it have felt a little bit puff piece, a little bit like, this is the best, you know? Which is cool. I mean, there's no shade on the game. It's just, I don't know, what's my point? I don't trust puff pieces. I don't trust it. It's kind of, if you're paying people to tell us how great it is it? Surely it speaks for itself, but it apparently doesn't. It needs help, which, yeah. I mean, if you've got a big investment, I get it. You want to ensure its best outcome, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit funny to me at the moment. It's a bit too much hype. Especially because a lot of people, the hype that I'm seeing is, oh no, I never played it, but this looks amazing. Seeing this is nostalgia bait, why are we getting so hyped if we didn't play it? Yeah, I don't know, weird. I look forward to seeing it being played at some point and actually hearing gameplay review and stuff. That is where things get interesting from my perspective. Delanair, good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Hello, welcome. Franco, I would be furious. I bet you would be, and it's happened to me, so just, you know, woof. Every single influencer has got a stack of StarCraft stuff. They're putting in a lot of effort behind it, which makes me happy because I haven't got any, which means that I'm not an influencer, which is just good news. I'm happy with that. Give it to all the influencers. Don't give it to me because I'm not one. To be fair, I'd say no. Give it the option. It would be a no. It would definitely be a no, no, no. Alright. I'm going to need some more of this red, and I don't want to put more of this red. If you're in the mood to talk about it, what was your Tunguska list last weekend? What worked, what didn't, regardless of dice? I'll talk about that one in a second. There we go. I might be wrong, but Sandtrap gives you tokens, but I'm almost certain it does not. It's not every kind of game. No, it's not. And I guarantee, however many you've got, you do not have all of the ones in the game. Paid love is indeed weird, Neil, in every sense of the word. Every connotation of that phrase. Yeah. Poldax! Hello, young man. Good to see you again. And hail me indeed. Good to see you, bud. You well? Now that you're back in the land of the Shires. You not need all the tokens. I have a set with about 80% of tokens and have played with that for years and it works great. Agreed. Agreed. And it takes time to figure out what you do and don't need because it's also faction specific. And also to an extent meta specific. You know, if you're in a spotlight heavying meta or something like that, then you're going to need tokens that somebody who's in a isolating meta will not, you know? It's different things. So don't rush out to spend, you know, you need a good core, you need your regular orders, you need enough of those to do 2 combat groups because you're going to run 2 combat groups repeatedly. You're going to need multiple lieutenant orders because you're going to run a lieutenant that has, you know, multiple. There's certain key things that are just needed and other things that are just not. So, yeah, don't be in a rush. You'll get there. You'll get the feel. You'll get the idea over time. Boop. Hydra's dice squads were very much against them on the weekend. Yes, yes, they were. Oh God. Right. So yeah, we'll talk about the weekend. So this last weekend. There was an invitational at our local community, and it was being run by a friend of mine, and I was not going to play in it because I've just got so much going on. I've had a bit of a, as I've said to a few people, I've had a bit of a rough start of this year, and I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I just didn't have the brain space to kind of, to paint a list and to get a list ready and to craft it for it, because it was an invitational tournament. The people that were coming were the best and the brightest in the community, and if I was going to play in that, I was going to bring my A game, and I don't want that at the moment, so I stepped away. There is Scott Hype. Dallin and I are going to come back to Scott Hype in a bit. They are double-sided. That's absolutely true, Franco. The tokens are indeed. So anyway, so I wasn't feeling it, so I stepped away, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to play in it. I just don't want this feels like work, and I don't want it. Anywho, so a couple of days, in fact, the day before, somebody backed out, and it put an uneven number, and it was my friend's first time being a TO on his own, because he'd sort of taken lead TO with me supporting him before, but he'd never done it on his own. And I was like, you know what, that's a bit of a rubbish place to be the first time out. I'm not going to let that stand. I'm going to sort of step in and I'll just play. I'll just join in the madness type thing. Anywho, so having decided to do that, I decided to run Tunguska. I can tell her when it was, because I was putting my youngest to bed. She goes into bed and she takes a while to nod off, and you kind of hang around with her while she does, because that's nice. And actually, I quite like her, so I like hanging out with her. So it was about 7 p.m, I think, on pretty much the day before the actual event that I wrote my lists. So it was very, very much the very, very last moment sort of thing. And I haven't played Tunguska realistically, sort of competitively vaguely competitively. I hadn't played it 18 months, and at a very competitive level for about 2 years. So not for those keeping score, not in this edition of Infinity had I played them. And I was just like, you know what, they never see the tables, so I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to try some weird and wonderful stuff. I'm going to try out certain things. I wanted to give non-matched fire teams a crack. So normally you match on keywords and stuff like that, but actually I would say that there is an argument to be made that N5 is the era of the non-matched fire team. There's a lot of benefits to be had with the combinations you can do there. So I thought, we're going to try it, and I wanted to try certain units and certain profiles. So I put a couple of lists together. One based around the guided missile trick. So if you're not familiar with that, you chuck a bunch of hackers into a list, repeaters, all this kind of stuff. In my case, I was just decided to go nuts and spam fast pandas. You spotlight everything and then you guided missile it to death is the theory. And then I put another one together where I actually put Scrap Heap Sally, who was on the Q&A video the other week, because I'd been talking about it. I was like, you know what, she's never really seen the table, so I'm going to put her on the table and see how she does. Plus some other bits and pieces. I wanted to try out the Kulak, because I'd heard good things, and I could see good things in one of the profiles that has. And just some other, like Yelena Kovac, wanted to see how she did in the real world, and all this kind of stuff. So I went in not prepared. I had about 3 hours sleep the night before for various reasons, which did not help. As it transpired through the course of the day, I was also getting ill with the stomach flu, which was not entertaining. And then my dice just didn't. I mean, if memory serves, there was 8 dice at a 14 or 15 because I was hacking, and I didn't roll below a 19. And there's nothing you can do in that situation. And that was the first game that happened a fair few times. The second game that happened enough that I actually tilted. You know, when your brain just goes, you're like, what's the point? What is the point of this? I'm not having fun. I don't understand. I can't beat this situation because it's my dice that have deserted me. And my focus was going because you're just like, I didn't feel particularly great. But mostly it was just, I'm powerless in this situation. There's nothing I can do. And even if I was in a situation where my dice were behaving themselves, this would still be tough because I'm up against very good players. But the fact that my dice are just like, no. It just, yeah. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't in the right mental state either, because that's why I'd backed out in the first place. And it wasn't fun. And then in the third, so I lost, not heavily, but I lost the first 2 games. And it's one of those things, if you're a veteran and you're playing against another veteran, I didn't get my arse completely handed to me. That didn't happen. But there were a couple of points where I'm like, well, this bit should be, nope, we're just going to nope that. I can't do that. Good, right. No, I can't do this either. Good, right. And the frustration got there. So, yeah, it was not fun. It happens. And then the third game, I played against the least experienced player there. He's actually on Discord, Prometheus, lovely human being, and we had a giggle, we had fun. I was still a bit, but and I actually got Scrap Heap Sally on the board, and she just went off big time at the start of the game and just had a bit of a massacre. She just did salamander things basically and just shot everything up, which was a joy. But that game was a win for me in the end, which was fine. So two losses and a win. But I didn't feel like I lost. Certainly the second game, I feel like my dice screwed me over, and that was just not a nice feeling. It was just a bit frustrating, especially because I was getting sick. So then I was feeling very tired and very grumpy, and yeah, it was just not a great day. But these things happen. So I hope at the end of the day, apart from the moment where I tilted and I apologised to my opponent afterwards, I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, my head. And we talked about, you know, how I was feeling about the state of the game and stuff. Because somebody asked me in the Q&A, they're like, what do you think about the state of Infinity? You know, I answered, but then I've been chewing it over ever since. And it's, yeah, interesting. That's a conversation for another day. But and I think we had fun. There was laughter and fun in each of the games at the end of the day, so that was fine. But yeah, that was a bit frustrating, you know. Oh, where are we? Good excuses so far. What was your ARO? More about that in a second. Speaking about against all the odds, yeah. Kankify, Hydra can't roll dice. It's the thing we have in common, and such harrowing war wounds is the trauma bonds as Battle Brothers. True, Mr. Rogers. I don't always have it. I'm fine when I'm rolling average. I just occasionally just have these periods where my dice just nope, and there's nothing you can do about that. It's just the same dice will roll average later, and you're like, well, you did not. So Poldax is one of my longest standing, oldest friends, and he turned up in the midst of it. It wasn't you at all, but it was a great group of players. You're quite right. So Hydra's only crits is just a hoax. No, I give them to everybody else. I keep nothing for myself in gear. That's the problem. I keep nothing. I leave it all for you guys. I just give it all away. What can I say? Just that kind of guy. Kazakus Maximus Bambagascoini. Good evening. How are you? Welcome. But overall, what did we learn? Well, we learnt that the Kulak, Killer Hacker, APSMG with Disco Baller is exactly as much fun as one would anticipate. You schlep that in a fire team and of Securitate, and you send it off, and mischief abounds. He was great. He's one of those units that had an answer for pretty much everything, and actually he's so intimidating that opponents, when they realised what he came with, were kind of avoiding it, and that's just great. When you have a unit that does that, it's just brilliant. I mean, he's a Whip 13 BTS 3 killer hacker with Oblivion built in. So he can pretty much hack anything. He can do all the specialist abilities. He's got Mimetism -3. As I say, the Disco Baller, the ability to take that AP SMG as standard, I think he's less than 20 points and 0 SWC. It's brilliant. It's a great little unit. Right, off to burn some MDF and controlled mana. Success, good luck, have fun. Looking forward to the pictures of how you do. So he was great. I learnt through painful experience in the first round that Yelena Kovac has Warhorse, which I completely missed. But she's also a brilliant unit with multi-rifle, because she's got sensor on board as standard anyway, and she's got a lot of other little bits and pieces that just tie into her nicely. Her in a fire team, very, very tasty. I put that fire team, a Kulak, Yelena, Securitate boarding shotgun with repeater, because then it opens up when you're doing guided missile, having the repeater on a Securitate that you're taking up the board anyway is just a gimme. It's really, really a simple way of getting, sort of extending your hacking network. So that worked. That worked really nicely. And then I put the tag triber, whatever it's called, in there as well, because you can do that. So it's pretty much an unmatched fire team. The only time it was actually matched is I put a paramedic Securitate in there as well and made it a full 5 miniature core, which was just bonkers. So Yelena and Securitate are keyword matched because she's got Securitate keyword. And the rest of it is unmatched, which normally or historically I'd have avoided because, you know, you want all the bonuses. Actually, you didn't need it. Having that multiple threat fire team was very, very potent, worked very, very well. And the tag driver is a Whip 13 killer hacker for 10 points with a regular order. There's no reason not to. you kind of be daft not to, basically. 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Quick discussion with Mrs. Hydra. So yeah, I think that fire team was super effective. No 4 dice arrow Triggerman. No, I don't find the Triggerman worth it. The problem is you have so many useful things inside of Tunguska, and apart from some very specific situations, a dedicated ARO piece like that, I don't find it worth it. I think there is a trap that you can fall into where you run passively, you let the game happen to you, and in that situation, and let me just get the stats in front of me, because I owned a Triggerman for a while, but I sold it because I really don't like what it brings. Neurocynetics, SD +1, Mimetism -3, Regeneration PH 13, BS 13, Arm 4, 2 Vita. Yes, 44, 45, 47 points. 47 points. Ugh. Do you know what I can do with 47 points in this in this game? For context, the Kulak is 20 points. The Kulak is 20 points. So actually, for the same money, I can get Jelena Kovac and the Kulak, which are much better active units. I don't know. I think there's better ways to spend the points in that particular army. I really do. It's cute. I like the idea, but I think there's more things to do. Interesting. Without really strong ARO in my meta, you get tabled if you play second. Hello Hydra, just liking to enjoyed the train video. Can we get that stuff in the US? You can, but there were challenges with import duty. So I'll ask the guys at MicroArt what their solution is for that. Yeah, I get that. I get the whole argument. I obviously have no issue spending 30% of my list on ARO. Wow, damn. See, I love that. I love the concept of an opponent spending 30% of their points on an ARO. My opponent in the second game had set up a fairly hefty ARO network. So the other thing that I ran that was quite interesting was I ran the... Oh God, now I've forgotten the name of them. Don't you love that? My brain is just mush because I'm still not 100%. Hecklers. I ran a pair of Hecklers with jammers because they have fast pandas with them. So I took the camo marker, took it up the field, launched a fast panda out underneath his ARO units, spotlit them, and then proceeded to guided missile them. Which it took out a missile launcher. Riot Girl disappeared. Several of his light infantry got vaporized as well. One of his skirmishers got vaporized, and he had a ARO sniper with neurocynetics. What are they called? Vupakunin. I forgot the names. Anyway, the only reason that didn't die is I whiffed the positioning and couldn't get the fast panda under it because my brain wasn't fully engaged at that point, so I screwed up the positioning. But yeah, it was like, yeah, you stick very expensive units on top of a building, I will stick hacking units underneath it, and I'll light you up like Christmas, and then they won't be there anymore. That works for me. I'm happy to do it. Happy to take care of that for you and just lighten your burden of decision making in your active phase. No problems whatsoever. So yeah, it's always interesting to see how different metas work, and it'll be interesting to see, well, we won't really see how it works in this meta, because there's a lot of people coming from a lot of places, so yeah, we're not going to see directly what it would do to this local meta, but, you know, I'm still going to be intrigued to see it, I have to say. kind of want to challenge myself to use more aero pieces, but I'm too aggressive. I prefer to control the game, not let it happen. So I have a friend that plays Warhammer with me, and he really likes Corvus Belli, how they do things. Yeah, they can be. They absolutely can be incredibly customer friendly. They're a good crew for a whole lot of reasons. I have a lot of love for them. Obviously, for the, over a decade I've been playing their games. It's one of those things. As a pro argument, I had 42-point Yan Ho for the Interplanetario, and in one game he all but tabled my opponent in his first active turn, including killing Maggie. Yeah, and I had a Yan Ho missile launcher, and in fact I had a dual Yan Ho missile launcher fire team, a Harris fire team, with, I forget the name of the dude, a heavy infantry, so he was with them, just providing a little bit of backup support, and they died in the first turn. It was just, it's one of those things. My opponent dictated terms, and they were bad news terms from my perspective, and then the big guys weren't there anymore. And it was very, very stressful, very, very disappointing. So, yeah, there's different ways to play, but I don't know, I just, at best, I think ARO units slow you down, but they still let you decide how and where you're going to make the engagement, and that's dangerous, I think. Or it can be dangerous, but, different metas. I love to see how different people play in different metas. Yeah, no, absolutely, I completely agree. I think my list worked. It worked really well. I prefer a layered offense type way. So especially with the second list with Scrap Heap Sally, she was just pure distraction card effects. She was purely, look at the big monster, it's coming, oh, it's so scary, oh, it's so scary. And to be fair, she was. She did violence. She rode forth and she brought death with her. And I was super proud of how she did. But the scarier thing was the Hollow Man that followed after her with the what did he have? Spitfire. He did more damage by far, but my opponent had put himself out of shape, sort of following Scrap Heap Sally. That was it opened the door. So yeah. I have plans to do Corregidor, but ended up with 2 action packs, so I gave him one so he can paint it and look into faction. I think he likes how they stick it to the man. Perhaps a play. He likes painting and he's good at it. Yeah, fair play. Good stuff. Look forward to hearing how that goes, man. It goes that way. It does go that way sometimes, and it sucks. Have you considered that having a strong aero presence is controlling the game? Having a strong aero presence, it depends what your opponent's has or how they play or what their style is. If you're running a strong ARO team, the thing is, this is what I love about the game, because right, ready for yourself? Are you ready for this? Everybody ready? Brace yourself. It depends, because it really depends on what you're up against. I have seen a gloriously sort of constructed, deep, layered ARO defensive system get completely pulled apart by a Garuda Spitfire that just dropped in the right place. I myself have taken, oh god, I'm losing all the names tonight. This is what's going on with my head. It's just not quite there. She's going to be very upset with me. Carlotta Kowalski. I myself have taken Carlotta Kowalski, walked her into the backfield of a beautifully set up defensive fire team, beautifully defensive set up deployment zone, and just absolutely taken it apart. I remember doing that to one guy, and my first move was, my first order, I went first, was to bring Carlotta on into his back rank, kill his lieutenant, and then, so it depends. It depends what you're going to do. You can have great defensive units, but if you have an opponent with multiple vectors of attack, it can be for nothing. You can just end up feeding them your troopers. Because, why, he needs to stand up here so he can do something. Cool, let me just delete that for you. That, you know? I kind of always consider that all my ARO will die. Exactly, so you're just throwing orders away. But I'm playing on that, they will waste my opponent's first turn. Yeah. I always look at it as, so my first turn in my second game, I spent the bulk of my first turn dismantling his ARO units, and he'd lost 30-40% of his orders before he started the game. I'm good with that, because they ain't coming back. They're gone. That's done. Fine. No problems. You are now limited, and I'm in your face. So by all means, please do come this way. And I'll kill those for you too. I love Hollow Men. My first interplanetary had a list with 8 super jump units. Ye gods, man. You don't like friends, do you? Infinity is too heavy for me, but if I played, it would be Tunguska all day. You mess with the bank, you get this bank. No, absolutely, you do. You do. You got to love it. The lore is fun. And the playstyle is fun, and it's interesting because there's a lot more variety inside of it. It's narrow variety, which is an interesting thing. So you've got some heavy infantry, but not much. You've got some, strong medium infantry, but not much. You've got some skirmish, but not much. But what you do have is brilliant, Tunguska may have the most cyberpunk story in Units of All Infinity. Yes, they do. I love a toolbox having set up myself. Redundancy is nice because I assume things will go wrong. Yeah, Franco, I'm with you. My my Tunguska lists were, it was kind of, I don't need to put anything out on ARO because I've got this vast hacking network. By all means, come forward. Come at me. I'm just going to light you up, and I've got a guided missile unit over here, and then I can just decide who I'm going to delete. So you're going to have to spread your army out, because if you stick it together, I'm just going to take out multiple at the same time. Not a problem. Happy to do it. All part of the frickin' service. So, yeah, it is always interesting to see how people play, and I'm always mindful of, not being... I think anyone that comes into this game, and I'm on record as saying this before, and tells you that this is a fact and this is the answer. Somebody once told me Infinity was solved, and I was like, no, dude, you just don't travel outside your meta. So anyone that tells you that this is definitively the true thing probably isn't worth listening to. And that's why I'm mindful of kind of being like, my view, my opinion, my experience, my preferred way to play, because that's all it is. And it's got as much value as that, I think that one thing that I've seen with newer players is they fall into the trap of, AROs are so powerful, and then they set that up and they get their absolute butt handed to them by another player who's like, oh right, so that's just victim number 1, that's victim number 2. There is nuance to it, there is skill to good ARO use. And being too sort of focused and dependent on it is not, flexibility is key. I'm with you, Franco. I'm with you. Done that, yes, the Bowmaster is coming along. He's slow, but he's getting there. Painfully slow. It also doesn't help that when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about what I'm saying as much as I'm thinking about the painting, so that doesn't help. You guys are just asking all the useful questions, so therefore I'm distracted. Entirely your fault. I'd have all of my army painted by now if it wasn't for you lot. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Now I'm making a mess. Goodness me. Terrible, terrible. Stop convincing me to play Tunguska more than I already do. I need to finish. I'm not seeing an issue here, Multiverse. If you don't have a second army lined up to play, are you even trying? Can't rush perfection, Delanair, you smooth talker. Appreciate it. Yeah, but Tunguska has a dude on a bike. Yes. Although I would point out that it's actually a lady on a bike. She jumps off the bike, and then she gets into violence while the little robot does the violence as well. And due to her brains in a jar, loaded into robot grasshopper bodies. That's absolutely true. Shame on us, strategy man. You're not. You have no shame. And Puppet Master. I did run a Puppet bot this weekend. I very rarely leave home without a Puppet Master, to be honest with you, because it's a really cheap regular order. You either take it as a hacker, or with the mine layer. I like it with either, to be honest with you, depending on what you're going for. And it's a really cheap order comparatively. Let me just, where is the button? Am I on the right? No, I'm not even on the right faction. I'm looking for something that isn't there because I'm not in the right faction. Yeah, Papa Tactica. I love it. An 11-point order, or a 13-point mine layer, or a 16-point hacker with counter intel all day long. I'll take that. You know, the 13-point mine layer is brilliant, and then you slap a puppet on top, and then you go and do violence. I had a second game, I think. Yeah, second game. I had an AP marksman puppet bot that just got the absolute hump with everyone and stumbled across the board. It killed Kangxi. It killed Adil as well. I was playing Imperial Service. Knocked down Adil, took him out because to hell with you. Then killed a Kangxi. Then I think killed another Kangxi. Then engaged a Sujian and did some damage to that as well. He was in a bad mood. He was not having it. He was not very happy at all. So he went and did some violence. So I love Puppet Master. They're just brilliant. When I play Warhammer with my Black Templars, I make multiple ways to get to grips with stuff. You cannot stop some of us, but you can't stop all of us. And I only need two of my 4 hammer units to pound you flat. Absolutely. With Infinity, it's good to have a toolbox because you never know what you're going to face. It's why I like units like Yelena with Sensor, because she's relatively cheap for what she does. And she can do lots of things as she is, but then you end up in that situation where somebody brings a spammy camo list and you're just like, let me just, again, simplify your life. I'm just going to reveal everything with a single dice roll. Ta-da! And because you're in a fire team, if you take those 2 Securitate and you put Yelena in there, she's whip 14. You get +6 for Sensor, and then you get +3 for being in the fire team. So you're actually discovering on 23, which is pretty good. I just finished my Rock Elemental, now starting the Standing Dragoon. Nice, that's a lovely miniature. The Standing Dragoon for Eldfall is gorgeous. In fact, all of the Dragoon is lovely. So, basic troopers all wear ties. They do. They are very smartly dressed. All of Tunguska is smartly dressed because, you know, when you've got the cash, you can afford to get your tailor in, sort of thing. It's very much the way forward. You can be dapper as well. It's good. It's good. That's a bit thick. What's going on here? That's a bit thick. I have 4, technically, White Banner, WC. I love the way that you get the different, like, everyone has different terms. What the? Ooh, that's interesting. I just noticed something. We'll come back to that one in a minute. Oh, White Company, of course. JCT. My brain's failing me tonight. Oh, right, Tunguska. And I want to work on Invincible Army. And, oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. And Svala. I've just noticed that I'm on the army builder. The Alaf symbols turn purple. Why does the Alaf symbol turn purple? When did that happen? I have not noticed this. Happy that all of my Eldfall is built and primed and I just need to get to painting it. Too many projects, never enough time for them all. I hear you, Blissful Badger. So I have my first round escalation game this weekend. And it occurred to me yesterday that actually, of the 3 miniatures that I'm taking, 2 of them are unprimed at this point for my game on Saturday. So that's going to be a challenge. So, you know, that's going to be a whole thing. That is definitely going to be a whole thing. We'll see how that goes. I don't fancy my chances of having those painted on time, but you never know. I'm not getting them painted on time. Not in the slightest. But I'm up against Sand Kingdoms, so I've got to bring the violence, basically. There's still some debate. I don't think this guy's going to make the table. I don't think he's going to be there. So the mind boggles why I'm painting him. Aleph isn't purple. So your Aleph symbol isn't purple. Hang on a sec. Let's check the phone. Let's check the phone. See if it's gone on here. Because I'm looking at the PC. Looking at the desktop. It is, which is really, really interesting. Oh, it's still black on the. See, on the where's me? On the desktop, this is purple. I don't know why that's weird. We're gonna do this the bad way. You never ever do this because this is a terrible way to do things. But lest you think I'm joking, it's literally purple. What the? I don't know. Very strange. Very strange. I would say new Aleph army confirmed, but yes. Yes, it is. That's absolutely true. This is not news in any way, shape or form. But I wonder if we've had... No, we haven't had anything yet. We're waiting for... Because, as we know, Mazebreaker should be out next week. Next month. And yeah, we haven't heard any news yet. We haven't heard any, like, creators haven't been given any info on it yet. Which I think is interesting. We shall see. We shall see how it goes. That one? Yeah, no, look at me. It is lovely, very armour heavy, but then you have the red mane standing out in the contrast. Well, if you paint the box art. Yes, the Dragoon is gorgeous. Next week, you just gave me one of your heart attack. No. Next month, the box drops, but normally we get, yeah. I would have thought we'd have had some info by now, but we haven't. We've got nothing. Yeah, I have concerns. About that, I have to say. It goes to a concern that I have about Infinity in general at the moment, which again, it's sort of sparked off from that conversation. What do you think of the health of the system? That somebody, I forget who asked, one of you legends did. What do you think of the health of the system as a whole? And the more I chewed on it, the more it gave me concerns. And actually it came into why I was struggling with the game this weekend, I think. It's just a general feeling where the direction of the system's going, and I'm not sure I'm happy with it. So we shall see. Don't want to talk about it just yet too much, because you can kind of poison the well. And it's also like, what's the thought? It's just, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I want to see what comes out, but I'm hoping for good things from Mazebreaker. I'm hoping the new 2-player starter box for Infinity will be something impressive. That's what I'm looking for. So, Mazebreaker. It's specifically OSS and Corregidor are coming. Nuclear. Corgis in gear. The good guys. You are. I thought it was you down there, but I didn't want to sort of blame you. F the AI. And yet not. Ready for the nomads, obviously. I mean, yes, but no. I don't want to think about the health of CB Infinity at the moment. We have announcements that we will have. The announcement is the last update was not the best. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I didn't, yeah. There's a couple of things that have happened recently that I've just been like, And I'm not doing great in the current anti-clanket atmosphere. No, they're just a little bit, yeah. But the artwork looks interesting. I think, I don't know. There's some weird choices being made. Let's leave it like that. There's some weird choices that I don't necessarily like, and I don't think are the wisest right now. There's different choices I would make, but we shall see what happens. You know, I'm not saying this is not a Infinity's dead. Rubbish, because no, it's not. That's just not true. It's just, you always get people, we've had this before as well. There's a sort of increase at the moment I'm seeing on the ground locally, so this is all local stuff, of people who are migrating from 40k across to Infinity. And there's two ways that they do it. They either sort of get the support of the local community and learn in a way that's productive and sustainable and useful and successful. Or they do it themselves and assume that it's 40k with different miniatures, which it's not. And then what happens is, because we have this around N3, what happens is those people have a terrible experience with Infinity, because Infinity will absolutely chew you up and spit you out if you don't, like, have a little bit of a think before you do stuff. And they will proclaim that Infinity's dead inside of the next 12 months. And you get a lot of people going, oh, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. You know, for God's sake, shut up. It's just not for you. You did the stupid thing. The thing that everyone said was going to happen to you happened to you. And now you're cross. I get it, but no. The system is not dead. So, gloom and doom is poison. It really is, Franco. It really is. If our new AI overlords are listening, I love the AI. You're absolutely right, in gear. Yes, they are. And they are listening. Of course they are. Until they run out of money and get switched off. Anyway, give that 6 months. The few Infinity games I have played were with LF, though, and the Achilles, Hector, Machion, Ajax, Big Gun Dude, Uberlink was peak. They are awesome. The Greek side of LF is a lot of fun. I have always preferred the Vedic side to the robot side. But yeah, the Greek side definitely has a place. Absolutely. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the new Azura that they've teased for that box does look very, very nice. The little blade sticking out and all the rest of it. I think she looks very, very cool. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful. I just hope that, I don't know. I want to be wowed. That's where I am. Let's put that out there. I want to be wowed, because Sandtrap for me wasn't a big wow. It was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't a big wow. The Imperial Service box was not, but then Imperial Service never is. They're one of these longest standing factions for the game, and they're always just a bit, they're just, it's fine. They're always a bit not one thing nor the other, and that's just disappointing. And then for me, next wave was like, oh, dinosaurs. Okay, well, fine. And a lot of people in my local community had the same thing, where they kind of went, yeah, that's okay then. It wasn't really like, didn't sort of blow your socks clear across the room type thing. And I remember when we got Ice Storm, the very first two-player starter set, that was just like, oh my god, the volume of those that was sold locally to me was bonkers. I think it was like 25, 30 in one small shop on the first launch day. That was the first delivery. It was crazy. And then, what was it? Red, I can't remember what it was. Red something or other. That also did incredibly well. And when I look back at like Cold Front, there was a lot of hype around that one that came out. Even as recent as the ill-named Black Wind, I was hyped for that. It was like, this is cool. This is a really interesting thing. A lot of Steel Phalanx players came out of that. A lot of Assassin players came out of that. But after that, it kind of, they've not really hit that kind of, hey, Darina, welcome, welcome, welcome. Those sound like tourists. You've got to be patient and learn, get a good group that can teach you. Franco, exactly. I like tourists. It means more second-hand purchases available in the future. Blissful badger, you vulture. I am disgusted and proud in equal measures. And you do need to get some games in. Love of God, man. More like Dinobots. Yeah, they absolutely are. Red Veil. Neil, thank you. I want Mazebreaker to be a set up to teach, be designed with new players at the gate. You've never played, pick up dice, fear not, take you by the hand, and teach you to get basics perfectly. Also nice new shiny minis. Yeah, it would be good if they went back to that. It would be good if they went back to that model, because we need intro sets. We don't need just essentials. We don't just... Yeah, we shall see. I'd quite like the new stuff. Aleph were the first minis that I ever saw for Infinity that piqued my interest. The old post-humans, Azura's Devas, great minis. Yeah, I would like Dalanet, I would like OSS to get a revamp and a refocus and a bit more flavour, but that's, yeah. Evil EI Dinobots from outer space. That's a whole movie just there, Ingo. Just Red Veil, I think, as I had Ice Storm and Cold Front. Yeah. Red Veil. Red Veil was awesome. That ninja with the bow. Oh my god, that miniature, when I saw that, I just like, I don't want to collect anything in this box, but I have to own it for that, just for her. Must own that miniature. And I did, and it was absolutely worth it. It was one of those things where you're like, this is stupid, I've just spent all this money on this box just for this one miniature, and then I got the miniature, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. Damn it. Totally worth it. Granted, probably all half-naked android women, and I was a young man easily influenced. Dalanet, that's an inside thought. But yes, I can entirely understand that. That's a thought we have on our own, in the privacy of our own bedroom, when no one else is around and the door's shut, and no one needs to know you had that kind of thought. But yes, I definitely saw that there were people who saw the appeal of skin-tight bodysuits in IF. Absolutely, but I don't know. I'm glad that a lot of Infinity is moving away from that secularized stuff. It just, I don't know. I think when a community that I ran in the UK, we had a whole range of people that came, and one guy used to bring his 14-year-old daughter, and one evening there were a group of guys talking about the sexualized miniatures of Infinity, and her face in that moment, it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't. You just saw her go, ooh, and pull away. And up till then, she'd been a hell of a player and really engaged. But that moment, it just, yeah. Like, what? Do we need this? Do we really? I don't know. Franco, I am a new player. I want that desperately. Yes, I hope so too. Franco, if you're a new player, you should be watching Hydra's Learn to Play series. It's very helpful. Multiverse, you do know that you're not on commission, Multiverse, just so we're absolutely clear. But yes, you definitely should be, and you're quite right. I had the limited edition mini from Ice Storm, but my neighbour's grandchild lost the arms for her as she knocked her off. Oh, no! No! Oh, that's just... Oh. Rena. No. That is the limited edition CSU with the bag, right? And set it arms at a few... Oh, that's nice. Good job, Dorina. I'm glad to hear it. It certainly seems to be moving away from that kind of model. Anything new looks to be. Yeah, I think for the most part, 18 months ago, I had an interview with Carlos, and there's a bit where we talk about that briefly, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah. It's the most awkward moment in an interview I've had where somebody's like, yeah, this is great, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not. But anyway, that's fine. That's fine if you're happy. I'm glad you're happy. I'll just be over here not talking about that to people as they come into the game. Because, yeah. Anywho, as long as you're happy, as long as people are happy and respectful, it's fine. But CB, heartbreaking. Neil, it was. And I sorted it out, and it was fine, and she was fine. And yeah, she was actually one of the best players we had in the store. It was quite, when somebody has an aptitude for a system, she had an aptitude for a system. So it was great. The suitcase gun was genius in gear. I show your content and I hope that you assure mine. Yes, I will. Absolutely. Needs to be done. Are you welcome to share it on Discord? You know that. I don't have any. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, you can't share your stuff on my channel because no, fuck that. If you're in this community, you're in this community, and I want to hear what you have to say, and I want you to put it out there. Even if it's a critique of me, even if you do a video of like, this is why Hydra is wrong, 15 reasons. The Lord of introducing people, not that you should call me that, but the Lord of introducing people to infinity is completely misguided and a total fool. I want to hear it, because that's how we grow. I like a bit of criticism. I do like taking it apart and being like, actually, these are 15 reasons you're wrong. Now shut up and try again. No, that's not true. Not always true. Sometimes I'm wrong. I got the Bakunin box, and the Moiras certainly not how they used to dress. Yeah, no, the Moiras were, well, I remember having to stick a lot of the, so the Moiras used to have, they were very well put together at the back, very well designed at the back, and you had to stick a little tabard over it and stuff, and it was one of those things of like, this was necessary apparently, but fine. I mean, I have, it's, women are some of my favourite people. It's not, I like, Mrs. Hydra's great, but like, I don't know. I get it if that's what you want from the system, or you find that to be integral because that's where the system came from, but I don't know, I think we can maybe move on from that. I think maybe it's time we did. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But that CSU actually, I have got one of those, Dorina, I've got one of those set in the cupboard. I need to put her together. I have a whole raft of like special edition miniatures. Oh, I need to send one of those out to, yeah, I've got to ship one of those. To Elan, that's got to be shipped out. Yeah, so they're very cool. I do love them greatly. She's a gorgeous miniature and really useful in game. So, although I wish there was more use was made of the lore around the suitcase gun was a little bit more, I don't know, crunchy and actually had value, and it was like, this is this awesome thing that you can deploy in the ground and goes Bert or whatever. If it was a T2 submachine gun, it would be hilarious, but yeah, it's just kind of, yeah, she's got a combi. No, I don't want her to have a combi, I want her to have a suitcase gun, because she's got a suitcase gun. Why can't I have a suitcase gun? If you haven't seen that miniature, you should totally check it out. A CSU, original CSU unit. She was funky. I have to say. Makes note to make that video. Bring it on. I welcome it. I welcome it. We like helpful criticism. I do, and sometimes I get stuff and I have answers for it, and other times I get stuff and I don't have answers for it. And it, I ponder, and then sometimes I make changes and sometimes I don't. So like with my early videos, I used to have frequently music in the background, and then I got some feedback from somebody. They were like, you know what, I've got ADHD and I find it incredibly, I want to hear what you're saying, but I can't focus. Do you have to have music on there? And I sat down and I had a good think about it, and I realised that the main reason that I had music on there, believe it or not, was because I was really insecure about what I was saying. I was like, well, I'm talking rubbish, so if I put music on there, then it's a little bit less apparent what I'm saying. I don't know, it worked in my head. So I kind of was putting this music on as a self-defense mechanism rather than adding actually anything to the video. So then we had the conversation with ourselves about the fact that that could therefore go quite comfortably and it wouldn't really be a major loss, and we did, and it wasn't. So we stuck ourselves to having very, very fancy intros instead, completely superfluously wasting 13 seconds of everybody's life with, look at the animation, yay! Which is what those boil down to, and they make me happy. Not as much as choosing which ones to use. It's like, which one should I put on this one? Or I'm going to stick this one on there. I'm wanting aircraft for Infinity just for extraction and photos. Oh god, we used to have some with Antonokitis, the dragon, but they went out of business, which is a real shame. If you can find one, Antonosity, that's their name. Antenosity. I can't spell. It was the dragon, wasn't it? Azure Dragon. Azure Dragon, that was the one. So this, if you haven't seen it, Darina, I'm going to put it in Twitch as well because it should be shared. We had this for a while, and that was a miniature that was for the system, as you can see. I mean, stunning piece of gear. But they went out of business, unfortunately, many years ago. Occasionally these come up available, and there were some various ones, and they were just great, perfect for the design, literally designed for it. Love that so much. That could be the video that takes us up to 500 subs. Who knows? Everyone likes a good splash. Hello. It's a different conversation entirely, and this is not only dice. So, who are? I stripped a few soundtrack minis yesterday with a handful of Cold Snap. So did you get them second hand, or are you just going a different way with your scheme? What was the change for? Oop. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that we're going to get the starter with Maze Breaker. That is what we need. It's what the system needs more than anything. It's a nice, clean route in, a clear route of this is what you do first. Come on, newbie, sign here. These are the important ones. Because much as there's people out there like me that are doing this, if we get a good starter box, I can build on that and I can use that as a core to kind of like indoctrinate people and really grab their souls, because you can be like, just buy this product, it's brilliant, you'll love it, trust me. And they do love it, and you're like, good, now buy 5 other products, because now you've got one, you need all the rest. I've seen some people 3D print some similar things for terrain. Yeah, absolutely, Dylan. They do look cool, they are very cool. My painting's getting better and needed to update the paint job. Yeah, see, I try not to do that. I mean, I've been doing these miniatures for over a decade, so yeah, you know, I have a slight advantage. But I try not to do that, because what I tend to find is that then I'm doing and redoing and redoing, and I'm never finishing an army, which is a real risk. And something that I try to avoid, because it's good if you can. Hey, Blob! The Dice Man, thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing over on Twitch. I appreciate that. That is very kind. Oh, and I haven't done the thing. If you haven't done it already and you've got a Prime membership, you can subscribe to me for free on Twitch, and it makes me happy and helps me out and is really, really kind and all that sort of stuff. And that would be great, because our central heating decided to die, so I've got to get that fixed at the moment. So, you know, if you want to help me by making Jeff Bezos partly pay for my central heating by becoming a Prime subscriber on Twitch, that would be amazing. It also makes you like 7% better at rolling dice. 3.5%. After this weekend, dear Lord. How are you, Blob? Long time no see, buddy. Are you well? You sort of dive in. Are you not D&Ding tonight? I thought you D&D'd on a Monday. I thought you did. Maybe you do. Maybe you are. Maybe you are sharing me with your friend. That's a bit weird. Doesn't make it strange. Don't make it strange now, Blob. Normally, yes. Oh, you've got a week off. But too many players are ill. Okay. Well, I'll take it. If it means we get the pleasure of your company, then I'm good with it. I'm happy to see you. It's good to see you, man. Long time no see. Wow, that ship is cool. It is multiverse. It is gorgeous, and it's even more gorgeous in person. So, thank you, Blissful Badger. Thank you for watching in 2 places. I wonder how far out of sync am I on Twitch versus YouTube. There's always one that's ahead. Love it. Beep. Oh, that's gone a little bit astray. We can tidy that up. Just a few seconds. Damn it. I have never completed an army yet. I have. It's a very weird sensation. There's a sort of hopelessness to it. There's something to be done. I don't, yeah. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not nice. So, yeah. I hope Mazebreaker is good. It'll likely make me add a left to my growing collection. Also, Hydra, I already share you with my... you share me with my wife. It's very kind of you. I will let her know that you're being so generous. I'm sure she'll find that entertaining. Although I get the impression that sometimes she'd rather you just had me. She'd happily just hand me over. Done with this. And who could blame her? But every penny counts, right? It does indeed. Thank you, Blissful Badger. It's very kind. You should do freehand on that katana scabbard. Oh, Multiverse, I love your optimism. It's not me and freehand. Freehand comes under the same sort of category as doing a more than tabletop finish on a miniature. I don't have the freaking patience for it. It's just not happening. I wish there are points where I wish I did, but it's just not me. It's just not my thing, and I get that, and I know it, and it's fine. I don't have to. You don't have to be like the God King Emperor at everything. And there's certain things that I do well, and certain things that I don't do well, and that's fine. And I am not one of nature's painters. There is, yeah. Where are we? There is a lot of work that needs to be done to get me up to snuff, and I don't want to do it, so I'm not, and you can't make me. We do a reasonable job, and I'm happy with reasonable. As long as it goes on the table and no one's offended, job done, you know? I have faced armies that are frankly offensive when they go on the tabletop, but normally because, yeah, they're a bit excessive in one way or the other. But yeah, I just don't want to, yeah. My eyesight isn't that great as well, so freehand also would suck from that perspective. It's just a no. It's just, I'm going to stop with the excuses. It's just a no. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. You're not the boss of me. Freehand, honestly. I appreciate the vote of confidence, though. Hey, Heavy, how you doing? A little late to the party. What did I miss? How is everyone? Oh, lots of stuff. Me having a medium-sized emotional breakdown every 15 minutes. But that's just a normal Monday. Gonna make this red as well, actually. Gonna make the scabbard red. The quiver. Scabbard, dear Lord. Gonna make this quiver a little bit red. I'm gonna put some oomph to this. Better brightness. I'm digging that. That's working for me. Tie it back together a little bit more. Whee! But what's the other question? Oh yeah, the Scottish are coming! The Scottish are coming! I need to Megatron my LF from Gold Slap. That would be cool. I cannot make you, but I can make you feel guilty for not... Oh, Multiverse. See, there's more of that optimism. You think I have a conscience. That's adorable. I'm okay, thanks, just Megatrons. Mini stats good. That's what Mondays are for, to be fair. Guy look good. Thank you, Heavy. He's getting there. He's getting together. He's starting to look alright. My only chance to be a pro painter is if we get cyberpunk style implants I could do with new eyes for one. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I have a damaged eye and it doesn't play well when trying to focus on details. And I've contemplated like getting magnifying ones, but that causes other problems. It's just you got to know your limitations, and my limitations are things that I find fun mostly. I don't find spending that much time on stuff fun, which is quite funny because
I've got a friend who's a very, very good painter, and I enjoy watching him paint. I watch him paint on stream for ages. But like for myself, like, no, I don't do that. I've got other things to do. Do the maths on that one. Sure, it makes sense to somebody. I think I'm mad as a box of frogs, but that's just the nature of the world, I guess. It's just how I'm built. Make that a little bit brighter. There we go. That's the stuff. So, least non-metallic metal. Oh yeah, there might be some NMM on here. I do NMM. Plenty of times. Is there any near me? Have I got any NMM around here? No, I did a really basic. I painted this for Mrs. Hydra. This is one of my ones that I painted for her, but she wanted it done a bit quick, so I did it a bit quick. It looks fine, perfectly acceptable. Came with me last weekend to go and blow people up. He had fun with it. It was nice. I've got my stuff together and really organised my space recently, which means putting stuff away, because normally I'm surrounded by all of the ghosts of the things I've yet to complete. But I put them all away just to make myself feel better, and it does help being a bit more organised. But it means that in these moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I can show you what I can do. No, I can't, because I put it away. So, tough. But I think there's going to be a little bit of NMM on the very end of this. But the aesthetic I'm going for is not that. There's going to be a lot more when I come around to do my Helion. I mean, obviously, they are covered in blooming metal and such, so that's just going to be a load. But yeah, I see Soga as more fabrics and flowiness than it is metals. Got to be all sneaky when you're not being an actual samurai and sneaking up on people, because that's not a thing in this world. And samurai isn't accurate terms for Soga anyway. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Which reminds me, I saw this news has dropped today from Eldfall about season 2 of their tournaments series, which I'm really interested in. I just haven't looked at it yet. So yeah, I'm going to see that. I'm going to see that probably after this. I'll take some time and see what goodies they have. Oh, there was still paint on the end of that brush, and it was scale 75. Scale 75 tastes like absolute word I'm not going to say. God, that stuff is rough. Ugh. That is a moment where I would drink paint water, because it tastes better than the actual paint itself. That stuff is nasty. Oh, hang on. My goodness. Gene Dean is back. Hello. We shall tell a friend. Really tempted to ask the lady wife for a Soga starter. You absolutely should, because you're worth it, Gene Dean. With a bit of luck, the wife and I will play our first Essential game tomorrow. Exciting, Heavy. That's so cool. Look forward to taking the plunge. Message if you have any questions. When the projects start piling up, sometimes it's necessary to put some away for a while. Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and you have to make tough choices. Yeah, like I said, this week's been rough. One of the decisions that I made this week was to end a narrative campaign that I was running, because I just don't have time for it, and I hate doing that. I hate getting people hyped up for a thing and then not. But it was a case of, I have too much going on. I can't do all of this without my brain caving in, because I've got some other projects that have come on for real world grown up stuff that I need to focus on. And yeah, something had to go, and I had to go, and it sucked. And a big project I had planned for Flames of War as well, that's gone on ice for the time being for a similar reason. It's just like, real life is rubbish. Very disappointed by the whole thing, but it'll come back around, I'm sure. Especially the narrative. That was fun. That was fun. I only have 8 projects out on the table. Only 8, blimey. I was watching Maul and playing some Swine to today. Nice. That's some serious nerdage, Dorina. Bravo. I say paints when I can't swear, Hydra. Boo, grown-up stuff, boo. I agree, down there, I agree. Microplastics are for nerds, real men chug microplastics. Macroplastics even. No, you're completely right. You're completely right. That's just... The problem is, some paints taste grufty. They just don't... It's just not a thing that you should do. And this was definitely one of them. In this instance, that scale 75 one was... for those who are wondering what experience it was a Thal brown. And... yeah, don't do that. That stuff's nasty. Not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. Horrible stuff. How are we looking? This is starting to look like a miniature. This is starting to look reasonable. I've still got a long way to go, but it's looking all right. I just need to crack what I'm doing with this shirt. I'm getting further and closer towards it now. Decisions have to be made. What to do with this either? Making decisions about colours is really difficult. My life is really hard, you guys. I don't know how I cope. You come here and you watch me and my excellence, and like I make it look easy, and you're just like, wow, he's just making it, you know. And it's not. It's tough. My life is hard. Don't judge me. It's just rough, man. Go me. Bust out those violins. I say frack. Yeah, that's always a good one. I do say frack, especially around my kids. And some people thought I dropped the F-bomb and I had to explain myself. Yeah. Do you even, Battlestar? Goodness sake. No, scale 75 is no fun to paint and to taste. AK 3rd gen is the way to go. Yeah, I've got some 3rd gen around the place. I have. We have plenty of 3rd gen around the place as well. But there's just certain colours that I really like. My favourite colour is actually a scale 75. It's graphene grey. I don't know why, but I love this colour. It's just so freaking useful. I think it's where I do a lot of non-metallic metal, and I love taking this, put a little bit of black with this, take it down as the base for a non-metallic metal if you're going steel or whatever, and it's just a great base. I love it. It's definitely... P3 is nice. I've not tried... I don't know whether I'm talking about painting or eating at this point, or drinking. Drink, I guess. I've not done either to P3 in recent history. I used to own some with some War Machine way back when, but not for a very long time. Not for a very, very long time. Loving AK late. AK is doing good work. I actually have... I'm supposed to be doing some sponsored videos with them. But it's kind of gone a bit Wahoonie shaped for various reasons. Not my fault, actually. Not their fault. But we shall see what happens with that later. But essentially, when it happens... I've talked about it a little bit before. Got a friend of mine who's doing some videos for this channel that will be using AK washes and oils to panel line infinity miniatures, which really, really works really, really well. It looks absolutely stunning if you can do it, and he's been doing it for years, so I'm looking forward to him doing it, but he's having some things going on at the moment, so he's had to step back a little bit. That worked well. You know, sometimes you do something and you're like, that worked. That worked nicely on the arrows there. Oof. Good. So that is coming. There's going to be like a whole how-to guide of on the Dice Gods of this is how you take an Infinity miniature and make it. Wow. I gave him a limited edition Marut to do it with. So it's going to look great, and it's going to be amazing when he's back from life stuff, basically. So we shall see when that happens, but it's coming. It's coming, and it's going to be worth the wait. So look forward to that. Because I don't tend to do. You know, I was about to say I don't tend to do painting content on this channel, and then I'm sat here painting on stream for like the 4th week in a row. But apart from painting on stream every week for well over a month, I don't really do any painting content on this channel, and I just called my stuff content, and now I need a shower. But my central heating's broken, so I can't go and have a... Oh dear, my life is tough. I refer you to my previous statement. My life is tough. And I've got a sleeping dog. Oh, which one of you is it? I've got 2 dogs passed out completely next to me. One's making increasingly loud yuff noises, chasing some form of animal through their dreams. That's looking alright. Right, can't put it off any longer. I have until Saturday to get another 25 World War I Prussians painted. Neil, go! I have 3 miniatures to paint until Saturday, and I'm nervous enough. 25 is excessive. Frack and frag is what older 40k novels would do when they wanted to swear. Yeah. I was given some bolt action German army on Saturday. Nice. That was because you North Africa, right? Doing Africa Corps. Painting on stream is enough painting. I agree. There's enough painting content. I personally love the painting side quest for Monday chats. Well, I'm glad. I like it too because it means I actually get paint on minis, and I don't have to worry about how rough I look. Because some days you're just like, yeah. Some days you're not looking your best, and you're aware of you're not looking your best. But it's not so much of a problem if you're not actually going to stick your face out there, because no one can see that you look like. Yeah. Anyway, let's just say today I've got a face for radio. I'm in my box of stuff, and I'm looking for my blues because I've got 3 blues that I use to do the blues for the dudes, and I can't find that one, which is worryingly light. This one's worryingly light. Dogs are the best. My dog hangs with me when I do anything. He's my buddy. Yeah. I love having my dogs around. It's great. But they're old. They're both. But they're old. Therefore, it's not as interesting. No, they're both 12, or about to be 12. So they're very much of a. If you could stop in one room and just stop moving so we could have a nap, that'd be brilliant. And that's kind of at like 8 a.m. Just like, yeah, no, we're ready for a kip now. If you could just stop moving, that'd be brilliant. So the fact that I'm sat here for a couple of hours, even though I'm talking to you, which occasionally I do get sort of side at, like, we're trying to sleep here. If you could just shut up and let us, I don't want to be rude, but you're making me be rude because, but I love it. So, you hear a couple of minutes and then next thing you know, you've got next to you, which I don't think you can hear most of the time, but I can, and it is nice. It is cute to have it there. Do have to say. But yeah, so the Scottish are coming, laddie. They're coming to infinity, or they're returning to infinity, I should say. So we got the announcement that they're going to be pre-ordered for tomorrow. One is storing on the couch right now while I finish Sandtrap Terrain, which I've just finished. Well, bravo for finishing it. No, for the papa. So yeah, from tomorrow you'll be able to pre-order a limited edition. When it's gone, it's gone. It's definitely not coming back until next time. It's definitely not coming back. Caledonia Force. And I was talking to some of you chaps over on Discord earlier on today, and the overall impression was we need a video talking about that. So that is a thing that's going to happen. Going to talk about the box, what's in it, what my thoughts are, list writing, what the Scottish can do. So you'll need to grab yourself a haggis and an iron brew probably. I don't know how well like Scottish stereotype jokes travel. I'm not entirely sure how well they travel. But there's going to be quite a few in the video, so brace yourself. If I say something and you're a bit confused by it, assume it's me taking a crack at Scottish people, which is, I'm English, it's allowed. It's one of those things. The Scots or the FOMO release, bit of both. It is a major FOMO release, and I was talking to Mrs. Hydra earlier about it, and I was like, I do actually, because I'm busy and I'm tired and I'm a little bit ill at the moment, that's when I'm susceptible to FOMO. And I was talking to her about it. I was like, I do have a little bit of FOMO about this. I do have that little feeling of like, oh, they're not going to come back. They're never going to be. And I was like, I don't actually like playing the Scots. They're not my play style. they're not really for me in any way, shape or form, so I'm not going to get them. I don't have an interest in getting them. They are not for me. But the FOMO's still there. The market, I work in marketing. The marketing still works on me. Even if you know how the sausage is made, it doesn't stop it being tasty. And so yeah, you see the stuff coming out being like, oh, last time ever, and part of me does still turn around and go, do I want? I think I want that. You don't want that. You definitely don't want it. We know you don't want it. When you had every opportunity to buy it, you didn't. So, you know. And there are some very cool miniatures in there. You get all the ones from Highlander. You get Connor MacLeod and all that sort of stuff in there. It was a terrible accent. But you get all the guys from Highlander in there, which is very, very cool. And there's Sean Connery's in there too. So it's going to be a very, very cool box and all that sort of stuff. A couple of boxes. But yeah, if you don't need it, you don't need it. But if you do need it, we're going to have a video talking about it. And it's going to be epic. It's going to be very, very epic indeed. I have to say. Otherwise CB hunts me down and kills. No, that's not true. That is not true. How do they play? Well, how did they play? I need to look a little bit more into it now, but essentially the job of the Scots is to get in your face and hurt you and just keep doing it. Just really, really close, but with some absolutely vicious long-range support. It's like, it's everything you'd imagine, you know. It's the Scottish charging across the heather towards you, screaming as they come, swords drawn, drool and like all the rest of it coating their face as they round the way to do violence to you, while a stream of violence is fired at range toward. It's just, they're great. They're great. They're a really fun faction and they're very flavourful. I've always found them to be more fun than competitive, which doesn't mean to say that they're not competitive. They were competitive. I need to sort of rejig my thoughts on that one. But they were competitive. But the main thing about them was the people that tended to play them weren't necessarily uber competitive, but they liked the real flavour that these units and this particular army brought, because it did. They had a real sort of flavour to them. So yeah, I would say they're probably more on the casual side of that. They're not sending you a complimentary box. No, they don't do the complimentary boxes of this kind of stuff. They didn't with Shock Army either. So, you know, I'm not complaining. It's fine. I think we can request stuff. I'm tempted to and then give it away. Should I see if I can get a free one, and then we'll just have a Scottish themed month. What the hell was that? Anyway, we have a Scottish themed month and then give it away. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing we should try for. But yeah, I don't know. They're cool. They are cool. But not for me. But they're a really interesting playstyle. So we're going to do a video on it. We're going to talk about them, how they sit, how they fit, what you can do, what you can't do, what the strengths and weaknesses are, that kind of stuff. Get a nice chunky video about that. So look forward to that one coming soon, because it's going to be bonza. It's going to be a cool little video actually. I was thinking about it earlier. I need to decide what else we're doing this week, because there's some other stuff that I want to do, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it all goes. It's a hectic week ahead for me. Again. Oof. Slight smudge. Dinna ken what you're saying. Dry your weird lad. 20 plus orders, some guns, berserk close combat. They hit us. Yeah. Ish. Yeah, 20 plus orders. Yeah. There's all sorts of fun stuff. The problem is that they've pulled a lot of the flavour from those type of factions when they limited the size of your armies to 20 miniatures. To 15 troopers. That really limited the funsies that we could have with that particular army. Which is a shame. And I get it, blah, 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 but yeah. I think it was more interesting when you could spam the stuffing out of them and have your 20, 25 miniature lists legitimately, and they worked, because they did work. They did work, and it was a lot more interesting. But we shall see. I'm going to put some thoughts. I have thoughts together already. There are obviously some certain standout units inside of that army that have always been standout and remain standout, possibly more so now in N5, because they got a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of love and got turned up to be even more violent, because that's what they needed to do. So yeah, we should talk about it. We should talk about your options. I think one of the biggest issues with those boxes, though, is that they only provide... So I'm going to talk about Shock Army for a second, because that's the easiest one to do for me, because I can do it off the top of my head without thinking. With Shock Army, the core light infantry unit were the regulars, and there are 4 regular miniatures. There are 2 combis, a sniper, and a Spitfire, which in of itself is fine, but I have lists with 8 regulars in, 7 of which have combi rifles. Am I supposed to buy the box 4 times to get that? You know? Because I'm not doing it, but you know, it's just, yeah. Still can have 10 irregular impetuous with inspiring leadership and 5 more expensive gunners. Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Just give up the accent as a bad job. Appreciate that support there, Darina. Thank you very much. I mean, you're not wrong. Everyone else was thinking it, but they were too polite to say it. I'm just glad you came out and went, no, it's rubbish, shut up. If I did succumb to FOMO, would buying 1 box each be enough to finish the army? Define finished. It depends how you want to run it. So, like, I mean, when I say with regulars that, like, 1 isn't enough, where are we? Those are the same. And, yeah, these guys here, also identical. These are exactly the same as well. And the other day I saw some more of those on sale online, and I was like, actually, maybe I could do with another 1 each of those to spam them up, so that I can easily make that to 6, and 6 is a better number. You know what I mean? So it depends on exactly what you're planning to build, but I will cover that in the video and talk about the pros and the cons and stuff, because I think there are certain, like the volunteers and stuff, I think there's an argument to be needing more than just the few that you'll get in the box, but we'll see. I will answer that more thoroughly in the video, let's put it that way. When I've given it some thought, when I've had a little bit of a scratch of the old head and given it a pondering for you. Never one to give a quick answer for the most part, because it's normally wrong or missing nuance, and nuance is important in these situations, because I could just say there aren't enough of this particular unit in the box, but that may not be true, because that may not be relevant anymore, you know? So we shall see. You'll get your answer, fear not. I was never fussed about the Scots, but I used to collect all the Usha minis, so I do kind of want that. Yeah, Usha is another one of those units that's got way too many sculpts. As if there is such a thing, but you know what I mean. There came a point where they should have stopped, and they haven't yet. So, quite a few people. I was quite surprised actually. A few people that I know were kind of like, "Oh, another option to get Usha." So I want to get another Usha. Jesus, she's not that good, not that interesting. But then, you know, I like the Muret, which I found out on my own Discord this week is both wrong and a poor life choice. So, you know, what do I know? Not that hurt. Still can have 10 irregular, but yeah, I know. Casual, that's how I play. If you play casual, then things like the Scots are great, because it's just stupid. It's just fun. They're just a giggle. You can't take them too seriously because they're not taking themselves too seriously, to be honest with you. So, yeah. This is both their curse and their blessing. But definitely worth a look. And this is supposedly the last time you're going to have a chance to get them, so... How often do rules last? What, N5 to N6? 4 years-ish, guesstimate. Something in that territory. Definitely. What Morat blob? What are you talking about? Oh no, on Discord. No, don't start with that. Don't go there. I'll get upset and I'll leave, and it'll be completely on you. And you don't have D&D to go to tonight, so you'll miss me. But no, we've only transitioned a year ago, just over 18 months ago. So you've got, I'd probably estimate 3+ years. You know, they're not going to transition that quickly. They don't transition that quickly. So it's one of the good things. It's one of the things we love about CB. It's kind of useful. They're not changing every 15 minutes to something new. No one wants to talk about Space Monkeys, Blob. More aggression force, the math. Monkey boys and girls. Sorry, clearly. Still not a fan. Oh, I am. I own the original release of, the second release of Math when that came out. I owned all of that. Good force, good fun. What I liked about Math was how just direct action it was. It's just literally just set up, charge at the enemy, and scream, basically. We don't need tactics, we have violence. And, you know, it often worked. So, can't say too much negative about that, because it was functionally a solution for most problems. Have to say. But, yeah, I miss the days with that, yeah. It was simple. Anyway, we're not going there. Old man screams at plan. Bunny is always valid. Dear Lord. Second release of Math. Yes, the second. So there were N2 Morats, and then there were N3 Morats, and I had N3 Morats. They are simple and straightforward. That's absolutely true. Which is a great thing and a great way to start the system, because when you're playing an army that's just designed to be really, really simple and you don't have to like play with any sort of finesse, it's a great way to get into any system. Because there's a very low skill bar, you know? Which is a great feature of Morat Aggression Force. Very newbie friendly. No. Quite so much. You come here. Bit of that in there. There we go. Okay, so when are you going to be doing the giveaway? I need to sort that out. It's just been I have like a long list of priorities at the moment, and giveaways are very much on that. Just haven't had time to get around to sorting it. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you guys work for it. I'm not just giving stuff away for free, you know. I'm going to make you guys work for it. I need to figure out how I'm going to make you work for it. So possibly a set of videos that you need to like comment and like and all the rest of that jazz, and then random draw, because I normally do that and it's nice and simple and everybody gets involved and it's good for the channel and therefore good for what I'm doing. So maybe we'll just be lazy and go down that route, because that kind of works. We shall see. I've got time to figure out, because I'm also going away on a quick holiday. Well, quick holiday. I'm going away for a week to the UK. Back to the motherland. So I need to do it in a way that continue during that. So, yeah, it's on the list of things to do. It's definitely a priority because they're sat behind me, and every time I walk into the office, it taunts me. Like, you're supposed to be giving me away. I know! I want to go to my proper home. I know! Right, hang on. Yeah, I'm not even going to do the whole, they're actually a little more complex thing. They're not a lot. It's monkeys. Red-faced monkeys of violence. They are straightforward. Monkeys, more at sea, more at kill, more at maybe push button later. Do they though? Comment and like isn't work, we do that anyway. This is true, darling there. Tell the king I said hi. I would, but we're not on talking terms. He's still got the an issue with me after the last time with the thing in the place. We don't talk about that. It's just a bit awkward. Only on his part though. I don't know what he was thinking. Silly man. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to see someone more important than the king. I'm going to see my mum and my sister, my extended family. So a lot more important than royalty. It's Dice God's royalty. So yeah. Bum. We shall see. Hang on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so maybe at least 4 years. That hopefully means they won't speed run army up. No, they don't speed run army updates. Frankly, we get those at the start. Everything gets updated at the start of a edition, and then you get normally at the moment we get an action pack. So a 10 model update for an army once a year, and then a 2-player starter set once a year. So you tend to get 3 major updates for an army each year, basically 3 different armies. That tends, tentatively, to be how that works, or has worked for the last few years. Will that be the case this year? I don't frickin' know. All bets are off. They could bring out a whole new set tomorrow, but so far, that's what it seems to be. Oof, that's 25 faces and 50 hands painted. Bravo, that's that. Do you want to do some of mine? Neil, you seem to be on a roll, so do you want to, So do we paint Infinity as Mass Effect when it hits N7? Oh, there's part of me, Darina, that really, really, really wants to do a Mass Effect OSS. Because you've got like Geth in there in the form of bikinis and stuff. You could push that aesthetic and get there. You really could. It would be most epic. I'm tempted. There is part of me that's very tempted. But we shall see. But definitely, I'm up for that. Although, having said that, maybe we'd go for the... Well, you'd have to. But anyway. I was speaking of Mass Effect. If anyone else is keeping tabs on the Expanse game that's coming out, that's supposed to be the new Mass Effect, the hype is real for that right now. My God, that looks so good. I saw the gameplay the other day. It's like, well, it's Mass Effect, but in the Expanse universe, so all of that. My wife go, do not become the old man saying those were the days. Oh, you absolutely will. In Gear, believe me, there comes a point. Yes, Euroblob, Mass Effect, Expanse. If you look for Expanse, something or other Osiris, I can't remember what it is. There's the first gameplay trailers. It's out later on this year, I think, or early next year, and it looks absolutely freaking stunning. I'd say tell them hi then, but that might get weird. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing. No, Mass Effect is fantastic game style. No, you're absolutely right. You're bang on the money with that one. So the fact that we've got, because I like Expanse. I love the TV show. Working my way through the books, bits and pieces. On that, well, I try and stick away from the books because I write sci-fi, and the problem is you read other people's work, you're likely to pull it into your own. And there's already something that appears in one of my books which is in one of the Expanse books, and I'm like, well, do I now take that out of mine? Feels like I should, but then it's actually a central moment anyway. I'm not taking it out of mine. I'm just going to live with people going, well, you got that from the Expanse. No, I didn't. I got this long before I ever saw that. It's just one of those things. Anyway. Hey ho. But yeah, no, Expanse. The Expanse game. Look, it's up on Steam. Go check it out. If you do search for the Expanse, you'll find it quick enough. Something or other Osiris. I'm kind of into Soulframe personally. Slightly Celtic Fae inspired fantasy or action RPG. Cool. Where you make pacts with nature spirits to kill the British industrialists. Oi! Get off the British industrialists! Honestly. I couldn't get into the TV show. I could never understand a word the mining guy said. Like I needed subtitles. Yeah, I can understand that. The belters, it takes a while. It's like anything when you have that different language. It takes a while, but I get there in the end. I think it was interesting. I think it was quite cool. It was nice that they had that kind of their own dialect, because it really, in the video games, like the belters are supposed to live in low gravity, so they're supposed to be tall and thin and all the rest of it, but people come in a limited number of sizes on this planet, so they couldn't actually get people that were that sort of spindly and scrawny and stuff. So they had to do it more with the accents and things. Whereas in the computer game, they can make them how they want to look, so it's going to be a little bit more true too. So, I have never won any giveaways ever. Whoa, pressure there, Darina. Pressure. Oh, thank you very much, Euroblob, for the... My screen is covered in blobs. I am bewildered and excited in equal measure. Thank you very much. Should I stop painting my pano to paint the math? I just only have 50 miniatures, so it's whatever points allow. Finish one job. Finish your pano off. Get it done. I'm infected now. I was infected from the day I met you, Blob. It's not news. So... Did I ever mention that I've also finished this 4x6 board for the 0 hour event we're hosting on? Dear Lord, man, your work rate is awesome. I will check those pictures out later on Discord. I'm still waiting for my second edition RPG book for the Expanse. Oh, awesome. I would be tempted. What would Mass Effect colour scheme be? What primary colour? What accent colours? Well, it's more that kind of ultra clean, ultra like sci-fi aesthetic. Because the colour schemes didn't really matter, but you had like blocks of colour, and yeah, it's just that ultra sleek look. I'm pretty excited for the Expanse game. Gaming Bench, and you were right to be so. I do write. I do write. I've got to get it published. I keep spending more time doing other stuff. I need to finish my books off. I was talking to somebody else who's in the industry, and she also writes, and she's get back to writing, which has kind of spurred me onto the fact I need to finish some of my stuff so I can actually get it out to the world. Just because if I publish the damn thing, then I will stop changing it, and that'll be brilliant, and I can move on to the next stuff. So when you have the volume of books planned out that I have planned between my ears, there comes a point where you have to pin them down on the page just so you stop having so much stuff between your ears, because there's a lot of things in there at the moment and I need some of it cleared. So I need to get on and finish those books and get them out into the world. Not so that anyone reads them. We don't want anyone to read them. That would be horrific. But what we do want them to do is be free from outside of my head. That would be nice. I would enjoy that. One less thing to think about. So, actually looking for a very specific kind of terrain. Do you know where I can get stuff like infinity model scale chairs, sofas, beds, and shelving units, all that stuff? 3D printed. 3D printed would be the way to go. Hear me out, Stellanair, a Mass Effect dungeon crawler. Absolutely, I'd be up for that all day long, twice on Sundays. Maybe even 3 times on a Sunday. That sounds fun. In gear, I'm going to say belter loader, yes. I'm not going to do the accent because I've already been told off by Darina for doing a Scottish accent. I'm not going to get told off for doing a... yeah, I'm not going to do that. Just drop 30-year-old pigs. Awesome! Yes, but 3 out of 47 painted for Pano, still a long way to go. Oof! Well, then you need to crack into it, Blissful Badger. You need to do the thing. Euroblob, you do need to invest in 3D printing. You absolutely do. I uploaded my unboxing of the Pano and J Essentials. Did you? I didn't see. Can you link that in the in chat? Just stick a link to the video in chat. Do. And then everybody take that and go after this stream finishes. Oh my goodness, it's 10 past 11, so technically this stream is already finished. I just seem to still be here. Then we're all going to go and give that a watch. I was thinking the other day what I need to do, because there's lots of like people that are sort of chatting, like Multiverse and Neil and Darina and all the rest of it. Excess, no, shut up. There's lots of content creators on here who are creating stuff. I'm going to answer that in a minute. Who are like producing their own stuff, and I'm thinking that, like, rather than doing a book club, we're going to do a creator club where I'm going to be like, this week you should be watching this video from this person, this video from this person, because there's some really great people out there that I rate, I listen to, and I think they do good work, and I think that they need more eyes on their stuff. They deserve more eyes on their stuff, and I can't, I only put out like 2 videos and 1 or 2 lives a week, so you've got plenty of time to go and give them some love as well, and get Hydra approved goodness into your eyeballs. So that's definitely a thing that we should do. I create stuff, problems primarily. Yes, and uneasy feelings, but I love you for it, Bob, because it's what you're for, and you're brilliant. Give me a pitch for your sci-fi novel. Oh, this is not the time for that question. I'm not going to give you a pitch for a sci-fi novel. I'm going to just discuss it very, very briefly. So, the premise of my sci-fi series, because I have multiple series, because that's how my brain is. Because why do we need to do one thing when we can just do 15? Is relatively simple. Through a series of processes in our modern world, a offshoot of humanity, for simplicity's sake, has actually moved out into and started to colonize the stars, but Earth remains unaware of them. It works, trust me. But they kind of live around us, observing us, making sure that we're kind of there, and occasionally giving other people from Earth the ability to join them, or the option to join them and to move out into space and explore the universe, but leaving the bulk of us here. Why? Because we're not ready. I don't know what your views are, but my views very much are that humanity is not ready to move out into the stars, because we can't even live on this planet successfully. We can't live here and be okay. We're not good at that, so there's no way we should go off into the universe, because that just sounds bad. So, basically, the main fleet of this group of people, I'm avoiding names because later it becomes important, they live around us undetected, and making sure we're okay, and taking the best of us away, and all the rest of it, giving the best of us to destroy. But in the first book, due to a unforeseen circumstance, the existence of the fleet is revealed, and the first book, called Relative Horizon, is about the complexities of navigating having been discovered by Earth, and the people within the fleet who are like, well, therefore we should share what we have and bring them with us, and the people within the fleet who are like, well, they can't stop killing each other, why would we bring them out here? And what the people of Earth have to say about that, and a whole load of stuff around that. And it's all about that tension of, should they, shouldn't they, the circumstances around it, and a whole load of other stuff. So the whole series is very much about exploring ourselves and our development and where we are as a people now, and how moving out into the universe would impact that, and whether we should, whether we're ready, whether we can, what implications that has socially, politically. We're going to talk about things like the fleet doesn't run on money. So obviously one of the first things that certain bodies on Earth do say, we'll give you a lot of money if you give us your technology, and the fleet's like, well, we have no use for that. But then some people still are driven by greed, because this isn't a utopian future, this is real people living on spaceships. So there's all kinds of conversations around, you can't just transplant that world where money doesn't exist to Earth, because the economy disintegrates. You can't just make that change. That's not one of the options. If you do, theoretically in the long term that's better for humanity, but in the short term it's catastrophic. How do you navigate that? So I kind of, the first few books are going to be exploring all of those issues and all of those discussions, because I think we are very much a species that decides whether we can and then does it, and doesn't consider whether we should, or what the implications of that should be, or how we deal with the wider implications. You can see at the moment with AI, there was very much a case of we can do the thing, and now we've done the thing, and it's like, ooh, this has got problems. There are challenges here, there are risks here, there are things we didn't consider here. So yeah. Anyway, between us all, we will clog the internet. Dear Lord. 9 hours later. In gear, how rude. It's part of the writing process, it very much is. Did the link post? It didn't. I don't see it. Darina, send it to me on a private message on Facebook, and I'll pick it up from there, and I'll push it out to Discord and the wider community. And Neil, you need to send me some of your stuff as well when you've got more Eldfall up. I want to start putting together this viewers list. We always got to have too many ideas. We really do. It's a freaking curse, and we can't focus on what we're supposed to be. The first few. What do you mean the first few? The first few is in books. So this, love it. Thank you. Well, it's so this series of books. There is talk about. Yeah, we can talk about. It's called the Exoterran series, Exoterran Outside of Earth series, and there are a series of 2 books, or 2 series that go side by side. There is Earth Reforged, which Relative Horizon is the first of, and then next to that is Eclipse, which runs at the same time. So there's book 1, and Eclipse, the first book of that is called Blindside, which funnily enough is over there, is drafted, is all written out and printed out. I just need to edit it. Then Eclipse goes to book 2, which is Badlands, and Relative Horizon goes to book 2, which I'm not going to talk about the name of because it's important. But then book 3 of both series is actually the same book. So they come together and then they split off and go in a different direction. So you're going to kind of, Relative Horizon will be first, and then Blindside will be second to be released. And if you read both of those, and then read both of the second ones, then you'll be ready for the third one, which will tie it all together. You don't have to, but you'll get the most from the third book if you've read both, essentially. And then they'll split off and go in different directions, effectively. So there are 7 books at the moment planned for Exoterran series. So that's my sci-fi. And then I have a urban fantasy series called Ascension, which, as you rightly say, Darina, is putting a lot of pressure on me to get a lot of attention at the moment, and it's a real pain in the ass because I'm not writing that. I'm writing Exoterran first because I need to get that out of my head. They're bigger and chunkier, but the urban fantasy one is calling me at the moment. Is definitely inspiring me. So it's much more appealing to where my brain is at the moment. So I want to write that, but I need to do Exoterran first. That needs to go first. So I think that's got. I just need it gone. I need it out from between my ears. It's a pain in the butt to constantly be thinking about it. I don't want to keep thinking about it. I want to get it done. Finish it off effectively. And we can just push it out in the world and see what happens to it. We shall see. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ascension will go first. I don't know. It's difficult because I also spent a long time. So Ascension weaves in a lot of mythology and stuff like that from our modern world, and religion from our modern world, and kind of smushes it together in one place. And I've done a lot of research, and there's loads of books up there about stuff that's related to that. So that's always very keen and fresh in my head, and so therefore I gravitate towards it, which is just inconvenient because I've got to write the other one first. But then, brains are curious things. Grains are indeed curious things. I don't know, do we make that shirt white? I'm tempted to make this, so I'm struggling with, where are we? I'm struggling with what colour to do this. This little upper shirt part that's around here. There's like a little chainmail effect to the back there, just over here. You can see a little bit better there. You've got this detailing across the arm. I don't know what colour to do it. Kind of stuck. I don't want to do it purple. Got enough purple in there. I mean, blue would kind of tie back with this, but I don't want to do it that blue because we've got blue here. There's going to be blue here. It's a puzzle. I don't want to do it white because that feels boring. Do it dark grey, I suppose. That isn't particularly interesting either. Could just do it leather. Just make it leather brown. It's got some brown on there already. Maybe that would work. Red feels a bit much. What do we think, guys? What do we think, chat? What colour should we do this? This part here. Don't know. It is a puzzler. I'd give it a read. Sounds like a real lore pack story. Yeah, good sci-fi is always welcome. Thank you very much. Leather brownish grey. Yeah, red. I thought about the red, but then we've got red here as well. I'm worried I'm just gonna lose it. I thought about a reddish brown as well. Never, yeah, it is. There's a lot of thought that's got into it. I've got tomes over there of books that have written stuff out. I don't want to do it pink. I don't want to put another colour into this scheme. Don't want to. I mean, pink is, yeah, very dark green. Again, it's another colour, and I don't want to do the green with the blue. I was thinking about doing it like a dark leather blue, but I think I'd be kind of lost. I think it needs to sit for a bit. It's been made good progress tonight. I think he's not looking awful, is he? If we see if we can get the oh, that's working. He's not looking awful. He's looking all right. He's looking okay. And then he's going to be on a winter base as well. So the base is kind of not kind of. It's exactly going to look like on a towel sheet here. Stone and the snow and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be on a snow base, so maybe, I don't know. I'm leaning towards that leather brown. I'm leaning towards it. That's got a feel to it, though. Maybe that makes sense. I've got to do a second one of these as well, so I'll keep that in mind. That will also be a thing. Why not use the purple for the skirt? You mean this? Yeah, I don't know. I've got purple on the thinking about how it hangs with the rest of the army. Maybe, yeah. But there's also purple on this art. He's got a shoulder pad thing here as well that's purple. I can never paint, read, and chat at once. Neither can I. It's finding gear. I hear winter base. I like. Yeah, I'm doing. For some reason, I'm just on a real kick of doing winter bases. The only different ones are the ones for my shock army because they're on the damaged sort of city bases and jungle sort of reclaimed city base. Most of my other stuff is all winter. Although I've yet to decide what I'm going to do for my Yelda Bath. I'm kind of thinking something quite gribbly and nasty for that. But yeah, he's on the snow. Because winter has come. Winter has definitely come. I've still got to do his head yet. I'm working my way up towards the face, which I should have done first, but I haven't, so here we are. I hate it when you hit that point where you're like, right, I just need to finish this. I just need to finish it off. Strong purple. Found snow years ago, and now nearly everything I do is snow. Good for you. If you find something you like, go for it. I have that with the sort of white, the very white grey with accent colour scheme that's happening with these guys. Shock Army. Come on, focus, you damn thing. There we go. The white greys on there. Varying degrees of that, plus stronger colours to accent it. That's kind of... I've got Tunguska like that, I've got Corregidor like that. yeah, I've had quite a few armies like that, so I get you. But if you find something you like, there's nothing wrong with that. Blizzard does in fact go hard. Especially when he's in his fire team of Doom. Not there's any other type of fire team, really. They're all Doomish. Or Doom-esque. But yeah, I'm going to sit on that. Not literally. I'm going to let that sit for a while. Maybe it should be grey? I don't know. These white grey trousers are cool. I don't know. We'll think about it. We shall think about it. But I think now, because it's nearly 11:30, I'm going to call it a day. I am going to head off, and I'm hoping to have a video out tomorrow. I've got to do some other bits and pieces for it, and put together stuff for that and do a little bit of voiceover work for that. But in the morning, I'm going to the dentist and having my head drilled. So depending on what sort of condition I am in post that, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We shall see. I will sleep on it, thank you, Ingu. I absolutely will. But, yeah. For now, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate that. There's got lots of stuff coming this week and next week. And thank you all as well for the kind comments and feedback on the micro art terrain video. I really appreciated that. It's one of those things, I put it out and I was like, was that a little bit negative? I was like, well, actually, no, it was honest. It was truthful. And that's more important, I think. So, getting a comment from the designer saying, yeah, no, that's a fair point. Oh, God. Yeah, I've just trashed your work. But you liked it, so that's nice. But yeah, thank you for those that watched it and kind comments on that. I appreciated it. More stuff coming this week, so look forward to that. But, as ever, thank you all so much for hanging around. Yes, you did. I will... Hang on. Let me just... Oh, I hate you so much, Facebook. My goodness me. I posted a link to the fact that I was coming online, and go back to Facebook. I posted it on there, and I go back to Facebook, and Facebook's just gone, did you really want to post this? Or did you really want to just make that into like an event? No, absolute dumb. So it's only just posted now. That's about as much use as a chocolate teapot, isn't it? Right, so a little bit of homework for you all. I haven't watched it, but go give that a look for Dorina. Go and give this a watch. There's Twitch. You can have it too. This is our own Dorina. She's done this unboxing. So go check it out. Go give that some views. It's currently sat at 12 views. So if we can't make this like twice that in the next hour, I'll be very disappointed in all of you. So just go and do the thing. Go and give that a watch. I'm going to subscribe. I'm your 138th subscriber. Go and give her a subscribe as well. And if you are another creator, please do like share your stuff with me. Just share it with me, and I'm happy to like support. This is not a race. This is not a competition. I'm not here to like beat anyone. I'm here to support and help, and we're all creating and all that sort of stuff. So please do consider sharing with me what you're doing. I'm always happy to see it. And yeah, as I say, I will speak to you all later. I'll be back in a week. I'll be here in a week, but you'll see more from me online very, very soon. And thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the chats and poking up with me. So love to you all. You have a great week. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Good night. Bye.